Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents Metaverse for Dummies by Ian Kahn. Narrated by Timothy Andrés Pabon. Publisher's note. In this audio edition, you will hear references to figures and tables present in the print and ebook formats of the book. Limit of liability, disclaimer of warranty. While the publisher and authors have used their best efforts in preparing this work, they make no representations or warranties with respect to the accuracy or completeness of the contents of this work, and specifically disclaim all warranties, including without limitation any implied warranties, or merchantability, or fitness for a particular purpose. No warranty may be created or extended by sales representatives, written sales materials, or promotional statements for this work. The fact that an organization, website, or product is referred to in this work as a citation and or potential source of further information does not mean that the publisher and authors endorse the information or services the organization, website, or product may provide, or recommendations it may make. This work is sold with the understanding that the publisher is not engaged in rendering professional services. The advice and strategies contained herein may not be suitable for your situation. You should consult with a specialist where appropriate. Further, readers should be aware that websites listed in this work may have changed or disappeared between when this work was written and when it is read. Neither the publisher nor authors shall be liable for any loss of profit or any other commercial damages, including but not limited to special, incidental, consequential, or other damages. Introduction. Metaverse for Dummies shows how the metaverse functions as just one part of a rapidly growing digital economy. Thanks to the availability of the internet, the emergence and consumption of new ideas and technologies take very little time. Take a minute and think about the early days of the internet. It took at least a decade before the World Wide Web, as we know it, was being used commercially across the world. Now consider the release and growth of smartphones, starting from the iPhone and others. Smartphones grew exponentially, and within a span of fewer than 5 years were being used widely across the world. The metaverse is now emerging and developing in an already developed marketplace where the essential building blocks are already available. These include high-speed microprocessors and memory, breakneck internet speeds, high-definition graphics, and others. In this era, the metaverse is likely to develop much faster than we saw other technologies grow. World-renowned futurist and pioneer Alvin Toffler said that technology feeds on itself, meaning that technologies give rise to other technologies, and at a faster pace. This is true for any innovative solution that emerges today and is accepted by the masses. The metaverse is such a thing. This book is your guide to cool places to explore the metaverse, early metaverse successes, and emerging metaverse platforms, from what it is to what it can do to where it can go. A countless number of my friends and acquaintances have been excited to see this book released. There's a lot of excitement about the first such reference manual being written about a complex and emerging technology that is impacting millions of people right now. One thing I can guarantee as the author is that the metaverse domain will continue to change and meander through the needs of the era we live in. More investments into developing the metaverse will likely happen. More jobs will be created into niche faculties of the metaverse. New career paths for eager technology professionals will emerge in the metaverse and related industries, and more value creation through the metaverse is at the horizon of this exciting era. You, as a reader, are part of this exciting era, and I look forward to taking you on an insider journey to the metaverse through this book. About this book. This book covers the essentials and beyond to get you up to speed with the metaverse. Throughout Metaverse for Dummies, I describe how people are putting the metaverse to use in their personal and professional lives. I also describe what the future may hold for how individuals and businesses use this highly emerging technology. Here are some advantages to finding out about the metaverse from Metaverse for Dummies. This book massively simplifies concepts that are usually complex. I've written in an easy-to-understand way, with careful focus on keeping things simple. The book covers many areas of the metaverse, and as such, forms a great, comprehensive reference. This book covers the personal and business side of the metaverse. This book is an ideal starting point to see how you can get the most from your metaverse experience. The metaverse is changing daily, and new information, vendors, and platforms are constantly emerging. Staying on top of the metaverse means reading and learning constantly. Within this book, you may note that some web addresses break across two lines of text. If you're reading this book in print and want to visit one of these web pages, simply key in the web address exactly as it's noted in the text, pretending as though the line break doesn't exist. If you're reading this as an ebook, you've got it easy. Just click the web address to be taken directly to the web page. Foolish assumptions. In this book, I assume that you have very little knowledge about the metaverse. You also understand that today, most people can't avoid technology touching their lives in some way or another. Your experience as a reader could be very little or extensive. You may use apps on your phone and tablet, or you may manage complex server farms. One thing is for sure. Your curiosity about the metaverse has brought you to this book, and you're in the right place. Here are some other assumptions I make about you. You may not have a background in technology, but you're familiar with the internet and social media. You're curious about technology in general and the metaverse in particular. You want to either explore how you can use the metaverse for personal use or use it to enhance your career or business. You may be an entrepreneur or leader who enjoys experimenting with and potentially championing new ideas within your organization or industry. Icons used in this book. Throughout this book, icons are verbalized to highlight certain types of valuable information that call out for your attention. Here are the icons you'll encounter and a brief description of each. Tip. The tip icon marks tips and shortcuts that you can use to make your experience in the metaverse easier. Remember. The remember icon marks information that's especially important to know. To siphon off the most important information in each chapter, just skim through these icons. Technical stuff. The technical stuff icon marks information of a highly technical nature that you can skip over if you're short on time. Warning. The warning icon tells you to watch out. It marks important information that may save you headaches as you explore the metaverse. Futurecast. The Futurecast icon highlights paragraphs where I put my futurist cap on and describe how the metaverse may be put to work in the real world. My ideas are based on my experience as a professional technology futurist, emerging technology consultant, educator, and creator of the Future Readiness Score, to name a few. Beyond the book. In addition to what you're reading right now, this book comes with a free Access Anywhere cheat sheet that includes tips to help you prepare for the metaverse. To get this cheat sheet, simply go to www.dummies.com and type Metaverse for Dummies cheat sheet in the search box. Where to go from here? This book is not linear. You can turn to any chapter and read it from beginning to end, or you can read specific parts of chapters that answer questions you have today. Here are some good places to start. Chapter 1 is where it all begins. This chapter paints a picture of what the metaverse is. It's a great place to start, regardless of your background and expertise. Chapter 6 lays out all current virtual reality VR headset models and what's available in the market. The chapter is not a buyer's guide. I don't rate the headsets. but it provides an overview of what's popular as of this writing. Chapter 12 is a great resource to understand the future of work and the role of the metaverse therein. It's a good place to start if you're curious about the future of work and you have some basic understanding of the metaverse. 1. Getting started with the metaverse. In this part, see what you can do in the metaverse. Explore what the many metaverse platforms offer. Stay safe in the metaverse. Understand how money works in the metaverse. Chapter 1. Making sense of the metaverse. In this chapter, seeing how the gaming industry helped develop the metaverse, forecasting how the metaverse may be used in the future, inviting the metaverse into your personal life, knowing how the metaverse may affect the workplace, joining a metaverse world. This chapter introduces you to the history and development of the metaverse, from its early beginnings within personal computing to its evolution into a $2 trillion plus industry in the next decade. Knowing where the metaverse started will be useful when connecting the dots between vendors, big tech, gaming, and other stakeholders. It'll also help you think more clearly about incorporating the metaverse into your organization's product strategy and in your personal life. Going meta with terminology. The word meta has many connotations and meanings. Ancient Romans used meta to indicate a column or post, or a group of columns or posts, that marked the turns on a racetrack. The term also has meanings specific to chemistry and art. English uses the prefix meta to indicate something that describes itself or another thing in an encompassing or more abstract way. If you work in marketing, web design, or another related field, for example, you may recognize the term metadata, which describes header and identifying information in a digital asset, such as a JPG image, in which the metadata tells you when and where the picture was taken, or data packets, or a web page identifier tag in web design. The word meta may mean many things, but in the context of this book, the metaverse refers to virtual reality-based online worlds. Some of these worlds are gaming environments or online games, and others function more as online virtual places where you can do other activities such as meet people, learn new things, or simply hang out. And the types of virtual worlds you can find in the metaverse continue to expand and are likely to continue to evolve. This book covers many of these worlds and shows how they work. In technology and pop culture, the word meta has been used to signify a positive change toward the future. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg was so motivated by the possibility of the metaverse that he renamed Facebook Meta. So if you come across the company named Meta, it's the former Facebook I'm referring to. Meta has its own metaverse world called Horizon Worlds, which I talk about throughout this book. For the sake of the book, though, Metaverse is the collection of the virtual worlds, and Meta is the company run by Zuckerberg. Getting how the metaverse started. Much of how the metaverse works and what it feels like to use it is built on knowledge first gained by the gaming industry. Graphics technology, for example, affects how quickly images appear and move on screen. The better your graphics card, the more colorful, detailed, and interactive the display can be without compromising a computer's performance. Computer game creators knew that what worked to power a Windows dialog box could also be used to power more picturesque and interactive gameplay. So they used the same hardware advancements that helped the Windows operating system run smoothly, and in color to enrich the visual experience of the games they developed without overheating their players' computers. Similarly, virtual reality VR went mainstream in the 2010s. As VR headsets became more affordable and consumer-grade hardware began to make entry into the marketplace, gaming providers started designing games that would work with VR headsets and provide gamers with new experiences. Metaverse-based VR worlds have taken a new direction. Part 2 of this book covers more about gaming in the metaverse. New metaverse worlds and providers are emerging, however, focused not only on gaming, but also on other activities. In this book, I take a deep look at existing and emerging metaverse worlds and how they're growing. I also look at how technology vendors are opening up these platforms for non-gamers, hobbyists, professionals, and others. There's also a push by other industries, such as high-end fashion, that are entering the metaverse. Part 3 of this book shows how businesses leverage the metaverse as an independent marketing channel, either on its own or to complement existing real-life channels. In Part 4 of this book, you see how the metaverse can shape the future of collaboration and communication. Remember, the metaverse has its roots in gaming, but its potential applications reach far beyond gaming. This book covers the impact of the metaverse on healthcare, entertainment, professional services, and a number of other industries and professions. Anticipating what's ahead for the metaverse. In terms of development, the metaverse today is where the internet was in the early 1990s. The early internet was shaped by new ideas, technologies, and ways of doing things. With the right investments, adoption, and usage, the internet grew into the internet we know today, for better or for worse, depending on who you ask. Similarly, the metaverse today provides an interesting place for many activities, but many of them are still in the early days of development, such as gaming, art exhibitions, group activities, hobby clubs, and others that have just started to develop and gain traction. The investment and attention put into building the metaverse over the next 5 to 10 years will determine what the metaverse ultimately becomes and the value it creates. The metaverse can help the real world by serving as an opportunity to create economic value, creating jobs and new professional opportunities, creating new experiences, connecting people and building communities, adding value. Chapter 19 provides 10 case studies that show how the metaverse is being used in the real world. Bringing the metaverse into your personal life. What is the role of the metaverse in your personal life? Imagine you're spending time with your friends and family, your loved ones, and you aren't at work. Your role is different from when you're at work. What role can the metaverse play in this case? In order to answer this question, you need to understand what you do in your personal life that's different from what you do at work. Today, with the emergence of technologies, smartphones, tablets, and ubiquitous internet connectivity, the gap between the workplace and personal lives has slightly diminished. Today, with remote work and work from home, boundaries between being at work and being at home are sometimes blurry. That said, you can use the metaverse as an avenue for learning, entertainment, and other aspects of life that have nothing or little to do with being at work. Here are some examples of how you may use the metaverse at home and in your personal life. Finding entertainment in the metaverse. The metaverse is a conduit to a whole new world of entertainment. You can play online games, some of which are based on a network play, and some in which you join a specific metaverse world and start engaging with others. You can also watch some of your favorite musicians and artists perform in the metaverse, attend concerts and performances, and attend major sports events. These avenues for entertainment are just the start. Turn to Part 2 for more about entertainment in the metaverse. Getting fit with the metaverse. Special accessories can make metaverse fitness more engaging. So not surprisingly, the fitness industry is embracing the metaverse. You can join a fitness class or a specific group fitness activity in the metaverse. Chapter 15 covers some of the fast-growing health and fitness areas in the metaverse and how you can get the most from them. Learning in the metaverse. The metaverse is making learning more engaging. Maybe you have younger children who need to learn about a specific topic, or maybe you'd like to learn something new yourself. If so, get your VR glasses and join a learning experience curated by a museum in the metaverse, or visit a far-off land such as New Zealand, which is promoting itself in the metaverse. You can find many options for learning about new things in the metaverse, and as organizations, providers, and other entities enter the metaverse, learning will catch up quickly. From enabling remote learning to helping students experience learning in a 3D format. The future of education is likely going to be very experiential through the metaverse. Imagine being able to walk with virtual dinosaurs or fly with bees as they pollinate different flowers. Everything is possible in VR. To find out what learning can mean in the metaverse, check out Chapter 14. Socializing in the metaverse. 50 years ago, people met in social gatherings. In the 2000s, people met online in chat rooms. Now you can meet people in the metaverse when you engage in group activities, such as developing personal interests, hobbies, and professional networking. The next section, Finding Hobbies in the Metaverse, and Chapter 9, cover finding hobbies in the metaverse. As with social media, you may find that some of your friends are exclusively metaverse friends, and others may become friends you communicate with through other means: text, email, phone, social media, and so on. You may even choose to meet in real life. Warning: take precautions when taking your conversations in the metaverse into actual, physical life on planet Earth. Meet in public places with other people around, in order to create a personal safety net. Turn to Chapter 3 for more on staying safe in the metaverse. Finding hobbies in the metaverse. Hobbyists will find the metaverse interesting when they're able to find people with similar interests in the metaverse and ready to share their expertise, time, and enthusiasm for their hobbies. As more and more people connect to each other in the metaverse, hobbyists will be able to create groups, forums, and perhaps new metaverse worlds focused on specific hobbies. Think about meeting your journal writing group in the metaverse, or attending the next Lego Builders Club meeting in the metaverse. Anything is possible. Right now is a very early time in the development of the metaverse, and as a result, we have a lot to look forward to in terms of hobbyists leveraging it to its full extent. See Chapter 9 for more about finding hobbies in the metaverse. Using the metaverse for work. From small businesses and entrepreneurs to large enterprises, the metaverse can find its place in every nook and cranny of the work world and be a useful tool to perform a specific task. The metaverse can serve as a channel of engagement to build a customer base, sell products, and even provide customer service. In the public sector, governments can use the metaverse to change government experience and reduce friction between citizen services and how governments deliver those services. Turn to Chapter 10 for some examples of how this is already happening, and how some private and public sector entities are jumping on board to create better governance and value for citizens. At a business level, the number of activities are emerging in the metaverse. In Chapter 4, I look at non-fungible tokens, NFTs, the retail industry, the emerging metaverse real estate, and perhaps the application of the metaverse for specific professionals. If you were around when the internet started growing exponentially, around the year 2000 and after, many new things were happening on the internet, including internet banking, where you could actually log into your bank and check your balances. Amazing. Today, accessing a bank online or with an app is a feature most consumers expect. There was also a time when early internet users were introduced to the ability to order something online and get it delivered by mail. Believe it or not, most people hesitated to buy anything online, but some experimented with it. Today, e-commerce is a multi-trillion-dollar industry, and most people order things with an app without giving it a second thought. Technical stuff. It's way too early for most people to even fathom how the metaverse will affect the workplace, but there are people who specialize in foresight and forecasting who can shed light on what the future may look like for work. Here are some ways the metaverse may be used for work. Customer service reps. New careers will emerge that will need people to do specific jobs in the metaverse. Most of these could be customer service, customer relations, and meeting people. Metaverse designers. Complex environments in the metaverse require a lot of brain work and creativity. Your skills will be needed if you can program, design, or imagine new worlds and ideas. Virtual offices. We've heard about virtual offices in the real world, but virtual offices in the metaverse will host specialists who are experts in things such as NFTs and metaverse design. Teachers and instructors. Are you a teacher or an instructor? And do you want to build a following in the metaverse? The other avatars you see in the metaverse are people too, and many of them may fall into your target audience. Future teachers will hold classes and teach new skills in the metaverse, everything from Spanish to how to create new 3D art. Meetings. Many companies have started using the metaverse on an experimental basis to see its suitability for collaboration. This means hosting some meetings and creating employee collaboration opportunities in the metaverse. If you're curious to see more about how the metaverse might affect your work experience, head over to Chapter 12. Visiting a metaverse world. So how do you enter the metaverse or connect with one of the many VR worlds? The next few sections walk you through entering the metaverse for the first time. Among the emerging metaverse worlds you can visit, some focus on gaming, some focus on meeting people, while others are trying to create new shopping and event experiences in the metaverse. Accessing the metaverse. Accessing a metaverse world requires computer hardware and access devices, such as a VR headset, that have enough capacity and computing power to be able to properly display graphics and provide an optimal metaverse experience. For a typical metaverse world, you can use a browser such as Microsoft Edge, Google Chrome, or Firefox. Any of these browsers will be able to open the main page of the metaverse world you're trying to access. This section provides the URLs, web addresses, to some of the most common metaverse worlds, some of which I cover in later chapters. To visit any of these metaverse worlds, type the URL exactly as shown into your browser address bar and press Enter. Following is a general list of interesting places in the metaverse. These are popular metaverse VR worlds that can be accessed through a web browser in most cases, although some may ask you to exclusively have a VR headset. Warning: enter the URL into your web browser exactly as written in the following table. Depending on your browser settings, you may or may not get a warning that the website is unsafe. Proceed with caution if you do get this warning, or just don't go to the website if you prefer. Things are constantly changing online. Metaverse URL: Blocktopia, www.blocktopia.com. Decentraland, https://decentraland.org. Horizon Worlds, www.oculus.com/horizon-worlds. Illuvium, http://illuvium.com. Roblox, www.roblox.com. The Sandbox, www.sandbox.game. Somnium Space, www.somniumspace.com. Voxels, www.voxels.com. Remember, there are hundreds of metaverse worlds you can visit online. The preceding list is a small representation of the popular metaverses. Chapter 2 describes in detail what each of these metaverse worlds offers. Choosing a metaverse world to visit. When you're choosing which metaverse world to visit, consider what you want from your metaverse experience. Some metaverse worlds focus on gaming, and others may focus on activities such as visiting a museum in the metaverse or even attending a metaverse concert. Think of visiting a metaverse world similar to browsing an online social network. Many social networks are available to choose from: Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, and others. Not all platforms are relevant for every person. Some people prefer to use Facebook to stay in touch with their friends or engage in a specific type of activity, such as hobbies, attending art and entertainment events, and more. Others prefer Twitter because it offers information in a different format with a different type of audience mix. When you choose which metaverse world to visit, consider matching your interests with what the metaverse offers. Tip: save time by knowing which metaverse world you want to visit and why, before taking all the steps to join or create an account for it. Joining a metaverse platform takes effort and can be time-consuming, from creating an account or connecting your wallet to customizing your avatar.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?